between a man and a woman, a bond intended to be permanent with God's grace. Our readings challenge the spouses to practice the fidelity of their ever faithful God, honoring their covenant commitment. Many in our parish have been married for many years, and we'll be celebrating today a couple who have been married for 45 years. And I know yesterday I talked to a couple that have been married 60 years. Our first reading is from Genesis, explaining what God's original plan was concerning marriage. It teaches us that God made man and woman for each other, and that in marriage they are no longer two people, but one. It says, "Bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh," united by an unbreakable bond that God has joined together. It is hard work and challenging to be married. The couple needs to realize that making this work, that they need to speak to each other, remember that the vows that they had taken, and asking God for the grace that they need to help them to remain faithful. A responsorial psalm expands on this as it includes children that are born through this union. As the children enrich the lives of the marriage and their parents, the psalm says in that last verse, "May you see your children's children." Second reading from Hebrews reminds us that Jesus became one of us so that he could be our brothers and sisters bonded to him. Today's gospel gives Jesus' teaching on marriage and divorce, the divine origin of marriage, the sacredness of family life, and the indissolubility of marriage. These are difficult messages to preach in a society that especially has many divorce statistics and questions even what marriage is. The gospel and church teaches that family life is sacred and that husband and wives are partners helping each other and living out the love that they have for one another, which brings with them their strength and weaknesses, hurts and wounds, hopes and fears in their marriage. I found an interesting story. It said one day, not long after marrying her high school sweetheart, Linda took a few minutes to buy him a small gift that read, "You are such a blessing to me." He was so touched, he decided to return the sentiment and tucked the card inside her coffee mug one morning. Linda relates, since that time, the card had been passed back and forth between us in books, on car dashboards, taping to the bathroom mirror, and even packing in lunch bags. Though the card is showing some wear, the tradition will continue. The card last appeared in the crib of the child's newborn daughter. Pope St. John Paul II and the Second Vatican Council encourages families to become what you are, being nourished spiritually and physically, accepting one another as they are, and adjusting to each other's needs by receiving strength through prayer, scripture, and the sacraments. Both spouses need to work hard to create a good marriage by building a union based on committed sharing and forgiveness. This requires a lot of generosity and mutual love, especially when they have children. Today, this special day, we remember Respect Life Sunday, respecting life in every stage, from the womb to the tomb. Marriage is about respecting each other. And after Mass, we'll receive a Respect Life prayer card that can be prayed by the family. Today's message is not only for those who are married, but can apply also to all of us on how we respect one another. Asking ourselves the question, How do we love all those God has placed in our lives? Not only our spouses, but also our families, and including all people that we may encounter each and every day. As we receive the gift of the Eucharist this morning, let us ask for the graces we may need to love others as Jesus wants us to love them.